Hi readers! So today we'll be reading Pooh's Grand Adventure, The Search for Christopher Robin. Once upon the last day of a golden summer, there was a boy and a bear, and together they had many grand adventures in a remarkable place called the 100 Acer Woods. But the grandest and most extraordinary of all their adventures was still to begin. The bear did not know it, but a great change was coming. His very best friend was about to leave. Who's that? Oh, I bet it's the rabbit. Oh, it's this boy. Winnie the Pooh hummed a happy hum as Christopher Robin came to see him. Pooh didn't know that Christopher Robin would start school the next day, and Pooh didn't want to listen as Christopher Robin talked about good boys. So this is his friend. This. Hello, so we're much happier things to Pooh. You're just in time for the best part of the day, Pooh told his friend. The part when you and me become we. And so Pooh led Christopher Robin on a day full of plays. At the end of the day of that golden summer, Christopher Robin tried it again to say goodbye. Pooh Bear, he said, if there's ever a tomorrow when we're not together, there's something you must remember. You're braver than you believe, and stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. Pooh Bear was sleepy from his hard day at play. He mixed up the words as he tried to repeat them, and he drifted off to sleep as Christopher Robin added, but the most important thing is, even if you're apart, I'll always be with you. The very next day, the first crisp day of autumn, came to 100 Acer Woods. Long before Pooh awoke, Christopher Robin left a pot of honey outside Pooh's door. He stuck a note to it, telling Pooh he was going to school, and then he went away. Later that morning, Pooh found the honey. Honey was for eating, thought Pooh, but was the honey his to eat? He got so stuck on the question that he didn't even see Christopher Robin's note. Dear Pooh, I can see that right there. Wait, see it? Dear Pooh, right there. On the note. Pooh decided to ask Christopher Robin about the honey, but when he went looking for his friend at Piglet's house, Pooh found only Piglet high in a tree. I'm doing what Christopher Robin said I should do, Piglet called. I'm conquering my fear of height. Piglet's fear returned, though when his branch cracked around him, hoo, 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 Tiger bounced in, all ready to save Piglet. But Tiger's tail wouldn't bounce him all the way up. All Tiger could do was watch Piglet on the way down. An avalanche of acorns from Piglet's tree sent their friends rolling toward Rabbit's house. Now, Rabbit was not expecting company. His garden book said it was harvest day. Even if you think you're not ripe, he told his plants, we go by the book. But before he could pick a single pea, he was swept toward Aroy's house of twigs. This is Aroy, right there. This little donkey. The tumble of Tiger and Piglet and Rabbit and Pooh left Aroy without even one twig over his head. When they had rolled to a rest, Pooh showed everyone the honey pot. If I could find Christopher Robin, Pooh said, he could tell me whose honey this is. Why don't you check the note? Rabbit asked. Now a note was with writing meant a visit to Owl's house. Owl studied the note carefully. Then it read out loud. Worry about me. I'm going far away, helped Christopher Robin. Owl saw the Christopher Robin. He said he was going to school. To Owl's eyes, that spelled skull. That Owl added spell danger for their friend. We must help him get back here. But it's school, not skull. School. This is how you spell school, kids. Say it with me. S-C-H-O-O-L. School. But to Owl's eyes, that's spelled skull. Spell it with me. S-K-U-L-L. That doesn't look right, does it? Let's move on to the next page. Ah, said Owl, you're going on a quest. He drew a map and told them of a terrible Skullsaurus they would meet. You must go to the Forbidden Mountains, then find the eye of the skull to save Christopher Robin. We've warned them. By the time Owl sent them on their way, even Pooh was trembly. Pooh and his friends followed Owl's map through the woods, and the bigger the woods, then much bigger woods, until they came to the upside-down rock. If you're here, you're where the monsters are, Rabbit read over Pooh's shoulder. Sure enough, they heard a loud growl nearby. The Skullsaurus! Yelped Pig. But Rabbit wasn't rattled. They had a map to follow after all, and a map was as good as a book for telling them what to do. Rabbit took the map from Pooh with them in the direction he thought was right. No Skullsaurus would dare to follow us here, Rabbit told the others. But a moment later, they heard another growl. Piglet raced off in a panic and found a beautiful meadow. Some friendly butterflies tickled Piglet. Then they carried him away. Pooh tried to help his frightened friend. You're bigger than a big leaf, he shouted to Piglet, mixing up Christopher Robin's words with about being braver, you believe? That didn't help. So Pooh jumped up and grabbed him by the leg. That did help, sort of. The butterflies couldn't lift Pooh and Piglet, so they both came back to the earth with a crash. That was very brave of you, Pooh, said Piglet. You're brave too, Piglet, Pooh answered. Brave? Then something, Rabbit. Pooh asked, "Are those the mountains we are looking for?" Pooh trusted his eyes. Rabbit trusted the map until the wind grabbed the map away. The map hovered near a deep gorge. Tiger ran out onto a log and began to bounce up to grab it. He bounced and he bounced and he bounced, but he couldn't reach the map. "What's causing his tail to fail?" he moaned. He made one more bounce, and the log cracking beneath him, the tiger landed halfway down the gorge. He was sure he'd never be able to bounce back up to his friends. Pooh tried to remember Christopher Robin's words about being stronger than you seem. "You're taller than you beam," he said to encourage Tiger. Tiger still wouldn't try to bounce up, so his friends made a chain and stretched down. They had just reached Tiger when Erie lost his grip. Down, down, down they fell into a gorge until they landed in a muddy splat. The map floated down through the mist and landed on Rabbit's head. "Might you know which way Christopher Robin is from here, Rabbit?" Pooh asked hopefully. Rabbit just shook his head. "I'm not smart enough to know," he said. Pooh tried to remember Christopher Robin's words about being smarter than you think. "You're smarter than you're pink," Pooh told Rabbit. Rabbit still felt that he had failed. All of them felt lost and alone and wished that Christopher Robin was there. Discouraged, they went to a cave to wait for the mist to clear. When the mist stopped being so misty, Piglet discovered that their cave was Skull Cave. They had to find a way to reach Christopher Robin in the eye of the skull. But as the growl of the Skullsaurus echoed around them, all they found was Crystal Cavern. When the friends heard another growl, they ran, but Pooh slipped and got stuck behind by a crystal block. He could see his friends, but he couldn't call to them. His friends thought that the Skullsaurus had gobbled Pooh up. How could they reach the eye of Skull without Pooh? Then Rabbit surprised himself by getting an idea. Tiger could bounce Piglet up to the eye. Tiger surprised himself by making the bounce. Then Piglet surprised himself by being brave enough to stand on the high ledge and lower wine so that the others could climb up to the eye. Pooh had seen the whole thing, but just as his friends got up to him, Pooh came unstuck and slid down deep into the cave. All alone, Pooh thought of Christopher Robin and remembered his friend's 2 words. Piglet was much braver than he believes, said Pooh, and Tiger was much stronger than he seems, and Rabbit smarter than he thinks. Then Pooh remembered Christopher Robin saying, "Even if we are apart, I'll always be with you." Suddenly Pooh didn't feel so alone anymore. Far from Pooh, his friends huddled together. Something was moving closer to them in the cave. It was Christopher Robin! "Where have you been?" he asked. We had to save you from Skull, Tiger said. "Skull?" said Christopher Robin. "I've been at school." Oh, that explains it. Right, guys? The others explained about the map and the quest. Christopher Robin explained that Owl had missed in his note. Don't worry, and I'm not going far away, and help yourself to the honey. Honey, reminded Christopher Robin of Pooh. Where's Pooh? He asked. A growl sounded deep in the cave as Piglet sadly said, "In there." The Skullsaurus gobbled him up, but Christopher Robin was not sad at all. "That's not Skullsaurus," he said. "That's the sound of rumbling, tumbly, of hungry for honey. Pooh Bear." Faster than you could say honey pot, Christopher Robin made a rescue plan. He tied a Pooh-sized honey pot to a rope, lowered it where Pooh was sitting, and with his smackler-sized honey pot, when Pooh saw the big honey pot, he got into it. Christopher Robin pulled him right up. There was no happier Pooh Bear than the one who hugged Christopher Robin, and there was no happier friends than Piglet and Tiger and Rabbit and Eloy. When they saw Pooh safe and sound, they had found their friends, and they had found their own strength. Their quest was a success two times over. Later, Christopher Robin told Pooh about school. "I learned things there. It was scary at first, but when I found myself feeling alone, I thought of you, Pooh. That's what I have done," Pooh said. "Pooh?" Christopher Robin said. "I promise you won't forget about me?" "I promise," said Pooh. "And you'll remember that even if we're apart, I'll always be with you." "Yes, Christopher Robin," answered Pooh, "and I shall always be with you." The end. And that was the story, Pooh's Grand Adventure, The Search of Christopher Robin. I hope you liked it, readers. Bye!